We are working with the Rugby League All-Stars to help support and raise awareness for some of the heroes who play our game. To be a part of it, visit rugbyam.co.uk/all-star events.
Welcome to Rugby AM. I'm Alex Simmons. I'm joined tonight by my partner in crime, Jamie Jones Buchanan, the legend, Gareth Ellis. And coming up on tonight's show, Kelsey Gentles talks to us about her journey in Rugby League from East Leeds not being allowed to play right the way through to representing England. Wagger's Game Day returns for 2020 as he hits the Emerald Headingley Stadium. And we've got a brand new feature, Who's That?, featuring Luke Gale and James Donaldson. Jonesy, what a fantastic start to 2020 featuring Sam Burgess, who named tonight's guest as his toughest ever opponent. That's a big rap, that, Gaz.
It's coming from someone like Sam. We had a bit of rivalry, I suppose. Go back to 2009. I was there on my own in Australia. Sam came and gate crashed the party a little bit in 2010. So when we came up against each other, there's a little bit of we had his own little war, I suppose, trying to prove ourselves in Australia. But then when we came up against each other, we went toe for toe. So
when you got over there, did you just want to bash Aussies really hard? Did you have that?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll jump in here because I did a podcast actually right here in this room about 8-9 months ago with Gaz, and we talked about the 2008 Florida trip to Jacksonville, where we played the South Sydney Rabbit Holes. And we were a bit nervous because obviously top NRL side, weren't sure what to expect. And Gaz absolutely battered them to bits. Like, we were beating them about 24-0. And what stood out in my mind, I'm at left back row, Gaz at right. And every time somebody ran down my side, I was struggling to hang on. They're getting run over the top of. But Gaz was flying out and absolutely smashing them. And he said in his podcast that he knew you were going to Australia, so you wanted to set your stall out and make a bit of an impression. Yeah,
well, I'd not told you lads that I'd already agreed to go over there. That was the trip I told Brian McClellan that I was going. So yeah, I felt like I had a bit of a point to prove in that game. And yeah, that's what was it. Yeah, so I was bashing Aussies just to
Aussie bashing.
And that's the trip when you got those amazing jackets.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. I still got mine, and it was an interesting week because we were, and listen, they apologised after, but we were like second-class citizens to Rabbit Holes, weren't we? And every time we went to an event, I don't know, a big stadium, they were there first, or they turned up late and made us wait about, and they got the best seats. And by the end of it, we were just fuming, just wanted to knock everybody's heads off. So we did well. We got up, I think we were about 24-0, ended up about 24-22, so hanging on by the skin of our teeth back end. But Gaz, man, that match stood out by a mile, and there was about 12,000 people there at the university. You know, it's like Greg Norman and people like that coming.
Flew in on a helicopter. Helicopter then went. I think when they kicked off, it was when.
Dennis Rodman. Like, and a year after, he played Salford, and there was about 500. But no, it was good. It was a good event, and I've still got the coat now.
Gaz, it's your 20th pre-season. How's the body?
I feel really good, and when I did retire, it wasn't a physical thing. It was more a mental thing why I retired. I was thinking about retiring for the majority of 2017. It sort of just festered in my mind, and that's all I could think about. It probably detracted really from me playing and enjoying the last year of my career. And it wasn't until I made the decision that I could relax and enjoy it. So I probably never felt like I did it true justice that last season. So I don't know, maybe it was always written in the stars to come back, but having that 18 months out certainly rekindled my love for the sport again, and that being in the dressing room with the lads and feeling it's hard to find a job in that little time I had to find sort of a job that you love and a job that you feel value and you feel like you're making a difference, and I feel like I do that playing rugby, whereas I probably didn't every day in my work environment. So it's good to be back. Like I say, I feel really good, mentally in a good place, and really excited about doing my bit and performance-wise for the team.
Now that you've experienced retirement a little bit anyway, but you are eventually going to have to get there. So will that help you prepare this year or for whenever you next decide to retire?
I think so. Yeah, I think you think you're ready for retirement. Yeah, I thought I was, and but then having experienced it, and you sort of 6 months down the line, I was probably still putting, it's all right. It's all right what I'm doing. Didn't have a clue what I was doing, you know, in the job, and you sort of just get by and you sort of fumble through things. So yeah, I think it's definitely prepared me. It's definitely got me we'll enjoy this period, you know. I think, you know, it's very important to not think too far ahead and live in the now, you know, and just enjoy it, and that's what I plan to do. And then, you know, hopefully, you know, when the time does come, which it will do, I'll be better prepared, like you say.
I imagine, given your age and experience, Gaz, Radders will give you a little bit of leeway in terms of what he trusts you to do to keep in good condition as well, and how much work you have to do during the week. But one stat that's jumped up, we talked a bit about it last week, was that you're going to have played in 4 decades. Yeah. Like, I did think about that actually, and there's no way in a million years could have done that one extra year, not for £1 million. But how does it feel to be in a very, very unique position?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I suppose it's luck as well. You know, obviously starting in 1999 as opposed to 1991, you know, it makes a difference. But I always thought, I mentioned before, I always thought I was going to play well into my 30s. You know, I never saw my career ending short. I always thought I was going to play well into my 30s. Maybe not quite as long as what I have, but yeah, 4 decades. Yeah, it's something.
What's been your favourite decade and why?
Oof, well, I mean, I've been lucky. I think you know, I've had a really good career. You know, it's started off at Wakefield, where, you know, this is not being disrespectful, but my highlights of them seasons really was not getting relegated, and that brought its own joy, because we were expected to get relegated. So we fought all season for that, and we achieved it. And I suppose the 2000s was great for me. It's the year I moved to Leeds, the decade I moved to Leeds. Won 2 World Cup challenges, 2 grand finals, and then obviously my time in Australia as well. So that's probably the busiest decade, I think, of my career, and probably involved some of the biggest decisions in my life. But I can't grumble with, you know, winning two Challenge Cups in the last couple of years with Hull as well. So yeah, I've been lucky.
What are you saying to the guys? So pre-game, obviously, as a real, you know, voice of influence, what are you saying to those lads at the first run out to a packed Headingley Stadium? What were your kind of words of encouragement for those boys?
Well, like, you know, like for those boys, I think, you know, I sort of go back to why I suppose I motivate myself, and that's, I always wanted to just be the player that other players wanted to play alongside. You know, be that player that, you know, not necessarily the flashy stuff, but the dirty stuff. You know, getting back early and taking a carry. You might only make a few metres, but it's a carry that, you know, other people might not be prepared to put their hands up to do. So that's what I sort of said to them. This is their first opportunity to be that player that the other guys want to play alongside. And I think some of the guys did that yesterday.
Well, yeah, you're all proud now. You've got some big new signings, as we experienced at Leeds this weekend. Sartey, Josh Jones, Mao. You know, you wanted to recruit big, and you've got that. Do you reckon you've got the team to go on and compete for silverware this year?
I think we have. I think, you know, with Radders playing at Bradford, you know, all those years ago, I think it's rubbed off on him, and you know, building a big, massive side. You know, if you think back to that, you know, that pack that he played in. He sort of replicated that, and we probably had our best years when we were big and strong and powerful. So they've recruited that way. I think in names on paper, yeah, but we have to, you know, we showed good signs yesterday. You know, pre-season's slowly built, and I think just you could tell within the last week or two the penny sort of dropped. You know, we have sort of Sneedy and Jake in the halves that love to play the game. They love playing the game. They love the players and the shift players. But I think a good thing for us is that we got in the arm wrestle early doors, and then started to put a few points on after 25, 30 minutes. And I think in their heads they saw the benefits of, yeah, let these boys, you know, it's hard defending big fellas running at you constantly for longer periods of time. And that's what happened. That's what we felt happened yesterday. That eventually, you know, we sort of bust through Leeds. Eventually, we just that constant flooding of big fellas just steaming the ball in.
Josh Jones is one of them players. He's almost like a target, and you know the big target on the week is to make sure he goes to floor. And if you're not putting him down, then there's something wrong, you know. And he's a bit of a marker in the board, but it's so difficult, isn't it? And he's mastered it. Sticks his backside out, and he's got a big spread there, and it just takes James' energy. I thought Savelio was good as well.
Andre was good, and he's almost a new signing for us because he missed a big part of the season last year. Kept coming in, and he was absolutely outstanding, and he has been in the pre-season. Actually, in the pre-season game, showed some real good signs. So that was really promising. But I think someone who really stands out, and I think throughout Super League, there's quite a few players that probably fall into this bracket that would still be getting in an NRL team. I think there's a few players across the competition now, and Manu Mahu's definitely that guy. You know, I know he played against Batley the other week, and I know it's no disrespect, it was against Batley, you know, and I said to my dad after the game, he said, "Oh, how did you think the lads went, the new lads went?" I said, "He's too good for Super League."
Really?
Yeah, I said, you know, that his leg speed, his power, he'll be a top signing for the league as well as obviously OFC.
Now, in the off season, you were the media manager for England. You went over to Papua New Guinea, and when we were looking for a new presenter for our league this year, you said straight away, Kelsey Gentles. Why? So we're going to meet you in a minute. Why?
I think when you, especially I didn't know any of the girls over there, and a very diverse group from over top and off of England, and they were outstanding, really funny. It's fantastic to see the game grow, get the opportunity to go to Papua New Guinea. But Kelsey stood out, as did 2 or 3 other characters. It's just people that are great in front of the camera. Yeah. Like when you're pointing a camera in people's face, it's interesting that lads that you've known for years are different through the lens of a camera, because you start to see the people that they hang around, some of the words that they say, the mannerisms, and Kelsey was just really funny and good to work with. And you know when you're pointing a camera at somebody, you need somebody to perform, and she can perform. So
she can perform on the field and hopefully in front of the camera as well this year on the Our League app. Let's check out Kelsey Gentles.
My first involvement was school rugby league. When I was in year 7, I was 11. We had a rugby coach that came down just like show us like how to play rugby, and I'd never really had any involvement apart from like my brothers playing and stuff. So that was like my first taster, but I didn't play for very long, only a few games, and I went back to football. But then when I was 16, I was leaving school, I just decided to play. My mum wasn't really that enthusiastic about it at first. Like, girl rugby wasn't as popular as it is now, so I kind of like defied her and was like, I'm going to go play anyway. And she's really supportive now actually, because look how it's turned out really well. And yeah, that was my kind of first taste of it. I supported Leeds Rhinos, being a Leeds girl, and yeah, followed them, watched loads of games and stuff like that, and played for East Leeds. That was my first club. When I was playing for East Leeds, I went for the England students trials when I was just 16, and Lindsay Anfield were the coach of that team, and kind of played a few games for them. And then after it all finished, she asked me to come and trial for Cass. She must have liked the way I played or something, but yeah, I went and trialled for Cass, and I've been there ever since. I love playing for Cass. I can't really describe it. I just love the club. I love my coaches. I love everything about it. The fans. It's a great environment to be in. Kind of like a family, where like the first team men, the under-19s, the women, we're all quite close, and we all spend a lot of time together, like in events and fans events and stuff like that. So I love it because it's a great environment. Yeah, it was amazing. I was really shocked to be even nominated, and when you're playing, you don't really think like, oh yeah, I want to get nominated for Women's Seal, I want to get all these accolades. Like, you're just playing because you want to play your best for your club, and I was just working on my performance, being the best player I can be for Cass, and to get those kind of, to be shortlisted and to get those kind of achievements, it is just amazing. It just makes playing better and better, and hopefully as I get older I'll get even more of those achievements. I keep working hard. I think it's great that Shah's gone over there and she's playing in that competition, and then for girls like us that are playing Super League, it's like, oh, we possibly could go over there as well, and I know a lot of girls that they'd love to go over to Australia and play. It's a great competition to be playing in, and I think it just keeps it close together. The girls that are playing over there, us that are playing over here, like, we're all working towards the same goal, and maybe the girls in Australia could come over playing the Super League, we could go over there playing the women's NRL, and I think it is amazing. Like, she's the first girl to go over there and play for a team, and I think there'll be loads more after, and now this has happened. It always takes one to go, and then the rest will start going. I'm just looking forward to kind of having a women's section to wrap up. People watching it, they might not get to see what's going on in the women's games, so that's a great opportunity for them to see what's going on and maybe get a bit more interest in coming to actually watch the girls' games and stuff like that. And I think just give the women the recognition they deserve. The men have a wrap-up, the championship have a wrap-up, the league will have a wrap-up, the women deserve a wrap-up too. It's every girl's dream to play for the country, and to be able to go to Australia in the 9s and then to go on the other tour to Papua New Guinea and just experience the kind of things that we saw in Papua New Guinea. It was amazing, the best experience. I don't even know, like, just playing, and you know, when you think, oh, I've got a bit of energy, can you make it? I didn't set out thinking like, oh, I'm going to catch it. I'm thinking like, let me try catch it. Let me just try my best. And I thought, oh my God, I'm getting closer. I'm actually getting closer. I might do this. And then I just had to throw everything I had at her, and luckily I got her down, and those kind of things. It's not even about me, it's about raising the women's profile. People that have never even seen rugby before, they saw that clip, and it's only going to make things better for the sport in general and for women's rugby. And if my face has to be on it, then I guess that's just what it is. Oh, it's amazing. I think it's great that it just shows like how inclusive our sport is, and how much like women's rugby is growing, and for the girls that are watching it to be on the same platform as the men on the wheelchair, it shows them that no, we are just as equal, and we are all working towards the same goal to increase the sport, increase people watching it and stuff. And with the World Cup being in England, it can only make things better and make the sport, like people see the sport as what it is, amazing.
Kelsey has got a big future ahead of her on the field and clearly in front of camera as well, Jonesy.
I think so, and it's great to have her in,
Yeah.
doing a little bit of work with the Our League, obviously rugby as well.
Class player though, you don't like that, do you?
No, but she can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Even Kev Sinfield's not perfect. He's from Lancashire, so but we've got to be diverse and inclusive and get everybody in. There's talents all over this great game. That's why we started Rugby Aim, isn't it?
Yep, it
to
is, right.
showcase the personalities, and Kelsey Gentles is definitely one of those personalities.
One of the best things about Rugby Aim for me is the stories we get told. Like when Sam told us this story last week when George scores that try. So, Gaz, no pressure, bit of a story time. I wanted to tell us about any moves that nearly happened but didn't, and why.
There's been a few really over the years.
Go on then.
When I left, before I joined Leeds, I was all set for going to Bradford.
What?
Yeah, I remember JP rang me actually, so it must have been the year before he went, so it must have been 2004.
You go, got to late up there.
Yeah. He rang me to just tell me how good, I think somebody already asked him to ring me and sort of tell me what, how good Bradford was and this, that and the other. Now thinking back to that conversation, I didn't know at the time, but now thinking back, things he said, I knew he'd sign for Leeds. Now things he said, yeah.
Cryptic.
I think it was a bit of like, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but yeah, it's a good club, But yeah, that didn't work out. And then I remember only recently, when I was retired, I was in a meeting and I bumped into Rob Elston. And he pulled me to one side and he goes, do you remember, probably 15 years ago, do you remember being in the Holiday Inn at Brighouse? And I was thinking, he said, yeah, you was with Ian Millward meeting, and I met Ian Millward and Kel Coslett in Brighouse thing. He said, oh yeah, I was working for Cass at the time. We were just sat a few rows, a few seats behind you. We didn't say anything though, but we understood that something was going on. Yeah, so that was it. You never know who's watching you when you're having these little co-op meetings. And then the other one was, before I went to West Tigers, I went to Manly.
Manly?
Yeah.
Why not Manly then?
Well, I was quite far down the line talking to him, and when we was over in Australia in 2006, I went to meet Des Hasler. But I think I still had a year left at Leeds at the time, so Leeds, they wanted a transfer fee, and I still wasn't sure whether I was going to go or not. And then, Manly weren't prepared to pay transfer fees. They didn't really do them back then. So they said, but sign for us and come next year, sort of thing. And I thought, it's a long time to think about that. I'll just concentrate. I never know what's going to happen. I'll have another good year at Leeds and enjoy that. And then Mark O'Neill joined.
Buckets.
Yeah, Buckets came to Leeds only very briefly.
Why'd you call him Buckets?
Yeah. I think it's something to do with bucket
Something to do
arse,
with bucket that time. Like a bucket.
He came and he's a big, massive Balmain West Tigers man. And he sort of, when it came down to the decision time, he sort of convinced me that West Tigers was the right club for me, and I'd have to agree he was probably right.
What a time to join the Tigers with Benji Marshall. It is best. Is he the best player you've ever played alongside?
He is, in terms of probably been everything I could never be. Benji was just something special, something different. But I think the surprising thing was for me, and particularly when I tell people, is that people think it was all just off the cuff and that, but he actually practiced, the flick passes and spinning the ball out of his backside and stepping off both feet. And he talk to me all the time, said, I'm going to do this, and he'd say like, oh, expect the ball. I might not be looking at you, but expect the ball, do you know what I mean? I might be looking somewhere else, but expect the ball. And so you'd build them combinations with him, and the amount of times I came on a cross, you know, like a hook play or a cross play on him, and I thought I was still running, I thinking I'd got the ball, and he'd dummied me and he'd gone skirting on the line, you know. But he said, I want you as tight to me as possible. I don't want you, you know, far away. He said, that's too easy for the defence to read. I want you to real tight. So he was really like detailed in what he did, and him and Robbie Farrow would be having discussions with Tim we'd have like 2-hour field sessions, and him and Benji and Robbie would be having discussions with Tim about this play, and he needs to do this better and he needs to do that better, and yeah, the real thinkers of the game. I only imagine that he'll be a coach one day.
Did you do double days? What's the difference between the training regime over here and in NRL? We're talking about a 2-hour field session. It's quite a long time, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the weather helps, you know, like especially this time of year. So we would probably go and do weights, then we'd have a break, so you'd get showered, you'd get changed, and we'd go off and all have a feed together. That was every day really, because we didn't get fed at the training ground. There's elements of there's elements like that are over here that are much more professional than over there. We used to actually take his shorts and socks home to wash. West Tigers, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Have to take his shorts and socks home, wash his own shorts and socks, and bring them next week. So proper old school stuff. But yeah, so we used to go and do that, and then come back in the afternoon. Yeah, and we'd be out on the field for 2 hours.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine me there? I've no shorts and socks. Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, well, I'm the same. It's something else for me to worry about.
I've been out twice in my career without my shirt on. Like, just, with my warm-up top on. Just run out, not thinking. Wow. Like running back inside. Yeah.
It's been 125 years of rugby league this year, and we're asking all our guests, when you look back, what do you remember about rugby league? What's your first kind of love? How did you fall in love with the game? What were your memories? And then I'll ask you a bit about obviously lifting the cup as well.
Yeah, I think my sort of first memories of rugby are probably, you know, my dad. You know, he played rugby for Doncaster, Sheffield, York, so semi-pro rugby. And, you know, just going, you know, my dad taking me to the park and kicking the ball over the sticks and passing me my multiplex, or it was, you know, passing that around. You know, they're the earliest memories. Remember, you know, and family as well. It was a real family thing. You know, my dad, his brother, my uncles. You know, we'd go to matches and with my cousins, and that's how I remember. And that's sort of when I retired. They're the sort of the memories that came flooding back. You know, why you love the sport and you sort of forget about that a little bit when you're in it and doing it every day. So it was really, really good. One of my first games was Wembley. I was only 4 years old. My dad took me.
86?
86, Cass versus OKR at Wembley, and Cass won. Jamie Sandy scored.
You've got a great relationship with Lee Radford, and you shared a real special moment when you walked up those stairs and lifted the cup for the first time in Hull's history at Wembley.
Yeah.
How did that feel to be the captain that day?
I felt really humble, and I felt really special because obviously, like, it was all the talk was about, you know, Hull have never won, and every time we go and play against Hull KR, we got reminded of it. And I love history, any history really, but I love the history of rugby league. And you know, it was when I retired and I went to I think it was Beverley Races, and the cup was there, and it was the first time I'd seen, you know, there's a little plaque that's been on there. It says Hull FC winner, and someone told me it's the only cup to have the captain's name on the trophy as well. Wow. And my name's there, and you look back at all the captains that are there, and my name's on it, and I just think it blows my mind. It blows my mind that I go back to '86 going to watch a Challenge Cup final at Wembley, and now I'm on that cup. It's crazy to think.
This week obviously is a big one. Hull have put a wicked little trailer together, taking you into the end of the part. Check this out from Hull FC. We'll see you back on the sofa in part 2 right here, pre-sports. Keep it locked for Rugby AM.
We are working with the Rugby League All-Stars to help support and raise awareness for some of the heroes who play our game. To be a part of it, visit rugbyam.co.uk/all-star events. We are working with the Rugby League All-Stars to help support and raise awareness for some of the heroes who play our game. To be a part of it, visit rugbyam.co.uk/all-star events.
Welcome back to part 2 here on Free Sports Rugby AM. Joined tonight by the legend that is Gaz Ellis. A couple of talking points we're going to get stuck into straight away, start part 2. We're going to give you one each. So we're going to start with yourself, Gaz. Thoughts on Wayne Bennett leaving, Sean Wayne coming in. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, you know, up until probably the recent Great Britain tour, you know, he'd done a good job, you know, up to that point. You know, World Cup final. But I couldn't help sense there was maybe possibly time for a change. I think, you know, for myself, you know, growing up with Great Britain, I was really excited about the you know, the GB tour, bringing back the jersey, and I just don't think it ever got going. I suppose results determine that a little bit, but then I think, you know, Wayne Bennett's comments about it almost been a warm-up game for England in the next World Cup. I probably didn't do that proud jersey justice for me.
What do you think Sean Wayne will bring then?
Yeah, well, you know, I've never been coached by Sean Wayne, but I think, you know, speaking to the players, that has been, you know, he's tough. He's tough on them. He expects a lot from them, but he gets the best out of them as well, and in return they respect him for that. So with those kind of qualities in that type of environment, when you're dealing with the best players in the country, you'd expect that he's going to get the best out of those types of players. So I'm hoping, you know, fingers crossed, we'll see some success, because I didn't see a lot of success at international career, and I hope in the future we will.
Second point, Luke Thompson signing today for Canterbury Bulldogs, following in your footsteps, going over to the NRL. He's been superb. Jones, we'll start with yourself. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he's been brilliant in the shop window, hasn't he, for the last few years. His lack of self-preservation, where he fires himself out of a cannon.
What's he like to play against?
He's just relentless, isn't he?
Yeah.
It seems like he's made an identity for himself, and anything less than that will be removing himself. So he's got no choice but to run as hard as he can for the rest of his life. Like when he goes to the counter with his shopping, he's just running straight in there.
He's quick as well.
He's quick, got leg speed, and I think like people like Joe Philbin is somebody who's emulating a little bit of that as well. When he's seen him playing in that Great Britain side, he's just whacking himself with no thought about his own well-being, and that's, I imagine, what NRL wants to see.
Yeah. I mean, for me, he's got to do it. It's the right decision. You know, I think if I'd not done it, I'd have lived my life. You know, and you know, the hard thing the thing for me was I was watching on Leeds win everything still. You know, when I went to Australia, and I didn't win anything over there. But I have no regrets about doing it, because it was the right move for me. You know, it was the challenge and the test that I needed.
One thing you did win is a battle with Sam Burgess, because he told a story last week. You backslamming him that hard, you knocked him out. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah. I think we both ended up getting injured in that game. But yeah, I suppose, like I say, I went there in 2009. Only English guy there. Sam jumped on the following year, came in 2010, and it was probably our first game, you know, the two English lads in the competition. I think he was left back row, I was right back row. It's a bit like your mate, you know, you want to at least leave your mark, leave a little bit of, you know. You want to leave it, and I just had an opportunity to, you know, get one on him, and I took it. But I think he plays the game exactly as I play the game. You know, I've said to you before, me on the field versus me on it, off it. Sorry, it's just two different people. I sometimes worry about myself, you know, how I am on it. But I couldn't have been or achieved the things that I've achieved in the game being what I am off the field. It's just no way. It's a tough game we play. It's a combative game. It's a violent game at times, and you have to play it that way.
Sam told us last week about going on a bit of a tour with Wagger and Chris Feather, who you would have played with and Wakey as well. Yeah. I don't know, did you when you was over there, did you see those boys catch up with that group at all?
Yeah, I used to do all the time. We once, rung Fev. I said, "Oh, fancy going for something to eat." Fev runs a gym, but it was actually Russell Crowe's gym at the time. And Russell Crowe must have popped his head in and see if everything was going all right. And he said, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" And Fev's going, "Oh, we're going out for something to eat." But he sort of hung there a little bit, and Fev was like, "Oh, do you want to come?" So we ended up going to this fancy restaurant on Woolloomooloo Wharf. Russell Crowe had his own table in the window and that, and I was there, and you're just like starstruck.
It's like gladiator.
Sam's like, patting him on the back, and best mates getting him in headlocks and stuff. I was just like stood there, thinking, gladiator clothes just going through my mind. Yeah, it was brilliant moment. But they're the sort of memories that you can. But he was a good bloke, wasn't he? Even when we went to Jacksonville, he was in the dressing room, gives all them coats. He was just a real down to earth, good guy.
Let's go over now and see him in action. The main man is back. Waggers game day.
Waggers game day is back for 2020, the first double header. We have got Toronto versus Castleford, Hull FC versus Leeds, and firstly, I'm in Windy Hall. We have got a special group of people over here. March for Rob. Look at them, they're ready. Look at them, they don't even look nervous. Right, march for Rob. Right, who came up with the idea?
Me. When it broke about Rob, it touched us all. Guy's a legend, isn't he? And we just felt wanting to do something to help him. So I came up with this now ridiculous idea to walk all this way, but it's absolutely worth it. And then when these lot had a drink, I
under the influence,
managed to convince them, and they all jumped on board, and the enthusiasm's been absolutely brilliant. So.
And we are heading out of Hull to Howden, following the Transpennine route, and then going along the River Aire into Cass.
How many miles?
Miles, 47 today, 13 from Cass to Leeds tomorrow. Easy.
I reckon you'll end up doing 100. I don't know. I don't reckon these guys know the route. They're going to have Google Maps out on the phone. Right, this looks the right way.
As long as we don't go over the Humber Bridge, we'll be all right. But we're raising money for a great cause. So,
what a special guys. Touched everyone's hearts in rugby league. So you guys getting behind him, what a guy he must be.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Rob, short in stature, massive in heart. One of my favourite players, being short like him. Maybe the only person I might be just a little bit taller than.
It makes me feel big. The only time Wagger Taurus has felt, look at that, I'm nearly an head bigger. It's not the size though, is it? It's not the size.
It's what's inside, and he's proven that year in, year out. You look at Super League seasons gone by, and people look at him, don't they, from other clubs, and just admire him, his skill, his turn of pace. He's just one of them people, isn't he, that you've got nothing bad to say about him.
Radders, wow, what about these guys walking to Headingley? They must be crazy.
They must be in this temperature, yeah, and this early in the morning as well. So I don't admire them, but for a great cause. So hopefully they've got some plasters for the blisters.
No, it's going to be tough. I'm meeting them in Cass. We're going to have a few shots and a few pints tonight. Well, I'm going to set them off. I'm motivating them. I'm energising them first, getting them ready. Look at them. They're all ready to go.
They're asleep.
They're not asleep, man. They're not asleep. They're buzzing, man. You know me. You've been in the changing rooms with me. I'm a motivator. I'll set them off. Let's talk about the game, though, Rads. Let's talk about the game. It's going to be a tough start to the season.
Tough start, yeah. They're tardy side, I watched them in the pre-season friendlies and they've looked, they're putting some more air on the ball with Gailey in there, as you'd expect. They look a little bit more organised under Rich, so yeah, tough, and 20,000 going to be there to watch, so outstanding, looking forward to it.
These guys are ready. I'm going to do my bit and set them on the way now. Let's go, let's get ready. We're in Las Vegas, 10:30, at the meeting point at Escape. Tick tock, still no sign of the walkers. Yeah, they're ready. They're running in! There's only two! There's only two! There's only two! Why is there only two? Come in! Come in close. Why is there only two here? I'm worried. Where are the rest?
The others are on the way. We've just kept a good pace. And boy, it was hard, Wagger. That's hard.
Talk to me how you're feeling right now.
There are two not far behind. Right this moment in time, elated, mate.
How you feeling? How's the body?
Oh, aching, but you know what? Had to do it for Rob, didn't we?
Yeah.
The little men always went out, so I had to push
Them
on.
little legs go. Any blisters? Any blisters? Any war wounds to show us? Have a look. How's the feet? Look at this. How's the feet? How's the feet? 40-odd mile. Look at them.
We lost one about 27 miles. Dan, massive blisters, really massive blisters, but he made it so dark. And the other three are not far behind.
Yeah. Oh, boys, they've just come out of KFC. We're limping. He's got a shoe off already. He's got a shoe off already. Lost a toenail. Lost a toenail. Wow. How you feeling? How you feeling?
Hungry. Hungry more than anything, yeah, and relieved.
What was the toughest bit about it?
The wind. The first like 10-15 miles was just headwind all the way.
Just checking in, that's the first 5 miles completed. Just reached the upper bridge. Weather seems to be nice, a little blue. It is very windy on the Ulmador.
When I saw you this morning and we set off, you were in great spirits. I look at you now, you look a shadow of your former self.
Well, I got better as it went on.
You got better?
Yeah, first 15 miles walking at headwind, my back was gone. Sort of got out of Gilberdite, that other side, and Howden, it just got better. And then when we're on that, getting over halfway, knowing that you're counting down rather than counting up. Oh, man.
How good is Cass? How good is Cass? Whoa, God's country, baby!
Well, yeah, there was lack of shops, I needed a drink, but we're going to go see how good Cass is when you get the drinks in.
How are you going to recover because you've got 30 miles to go?
Easy! 43 miles today, easy tomorrow, easy.
What an effort, let's have a beer.
Boys, we love Rob.
From me, well done, Matt. Rugby league, don't get any better than this, does it? It's morning, we're down the lane. Cass Tigers are in the background. How are we feeling?
Sore, feet are in bits.
Yeah, going to be a tough 13 miles, I think, today.
We're ready for it. Blisters, yeah.
They're energised again. What were the toughest bit yesterday? Because I didn't see you guys last night. You were toughing it out.
The wind probably, and getting a bit lost, that didn't help.
Had an extra miles on miles, I think it was.
Last half hour was rough.
Navigated.
No.
And today should be a doddle, shouldn't it? You should jog this.
Should be.
You should run this. 30 minutes, nothing compared to yesterday.
No, it's not. Walk in the park.
We are heading to the Sky Rack. I will see you there for drinks and shots. So let's go. Let's go.
Yay.
Come on.
Woo.
Everyone knows Wagger loves fancy dress on game day. There's only one man I can be at the double header. He's Sonny Bill Williams, so I'm going to do it right. Sonny Bill has got a tribal tattoo, so Wagger Taurus is going to get a tribal tattoo. I'm in the Skin Works in Nottingham. Hi guys, you all right? I'd like a Sonny Bill Williams tribal tattoo, please.
Right then, Wagger, Sonny Bill Williams.
Sonny Bill Williams, Sonny Bill Wagger Taurus.
Good, mate. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Wagger Taurus has made it into Headingley. I'm not sure where the walkers are. I've heard Sonny Bill Williams is in town. I've had the tribal tattoo. Let's go into the Sky Rack. We play league. I'm inside the Sky Rack and there's Leeds Rhinos and Toronto. Support both teams.
Yeah, what it was when they first started off in League One, Leeds played a Friday mainly, so on a Sunday we decided to follow Toronto. Go to some place we've not been for quite a number of years, Batley, Dewsbury, Sheffield, York. So we're taking them on board now.
Husband and wife, how long have you been married?
We're
not married.
Well,
You are getting married then? You are going to get married. You're going to get married after this.
Getting married at Toronto.
Yeah, you could do, couldn't you? You never know.
I'm made of honour, I'm planning it.
Wedding planner straight in. These are off their head. You won't down that. You won't down that, mate. You won't down that. Down it then. You won't down it. I'm off into the Sky Rack in the beer garden to have a chat with some fans pre-game, see what the spirits are like. Yes, the Cast fans are here. Yeah!
Who to be a Cast fan?
Epi for me.
Epi.
Yes, definitely Epi for me. And Griffin.
You know what she's saying?
I've no idea.
No idea either. Oh, faithful in any kind of weather. When the round-up days are over and the boulevard's white with clover. For you, oh, faithful fan of mine. The main man himself, Steve Ashcroft. Wow, you're everywhere. The season has started. How do you reckon Toronto will go?
Where did that moustache come from?
I just drawn it on, look. I just drawn it on. I'm jealous. Legislative.
Happy New Year, everybody. Great, a very important day in rugby league history today, the Wolfpack's very first Super League game. And let's hope there's a lot more expansion over the coming years.
This guy must be a Toronto Wolfpack. Look at that, the Blues. Have you flown over for this?
From Belgium.
From Belgium? So, yeah. Why the Toronto Wolfpack?
Why? Because I lived for 13 years in Canada, in Montreal, and I went to a trip in Australia, discovered rugby league, came back to Canada and tried to find a local team and anything. I found Eric Perez. He hadn't built the team yet, but then yeah, he did it, and so
yeah, the Wolfpack making history today. The Canadians, I love it. The crew are finally here. Look at them. They're here. Let's clap them in. Unbelievable effort. Wow. Rugby league. Rugby league. Awesome. Awesome. Well done, boys. Get through. Straight through. Tunnel. We've got a tunnel. We've got a tunnel. Wow. You've done it. You've completed it. You've raised a lot of money. Well done. Great cause, like we mentioned. How are you feeling?
If it was a mile longer, I'd have thrown the towel in. Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got no else to give.
From myself and Rugby Aim and everyone in Rugby League, well done for supporting Rob and getting right behind him. And that's why it is the best game in the world, isn't it?
And just thank you everyone who's donated. Without your donations, it's just 7 people walking from Hull to Leeds.
5K!
Yeah, 5,000. Just brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you, Rugby League. Awesome, guys. Well done. I mean it. The Sky Rack is still bouncing pre-game. 4 sets of fans having a great time. Now we're going to link to one of our new features. Who's That? With James Donaldson and Luke Gale.
Got a big nose.
There's a few in our team.
He's happy if he has a nice car and a dad nose twice a week. You got me, yeah?
He gets a number 35 cut from Haircuts, Turkish barbers, once a week. They call him Belly.
Cam Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bala. Game day, Bala.
Rob Louis. Bloody hell. Big lad, getting a bit of a bird's nest.
Big lad. Arva. Welcome to the podcast, Stevie Ward here, your mentality.
He said it.
Sorry, pal.
Just got a new nickname recently called Pepperoni.
I don't know.
A bit of a long neck.
Got a bit of a long neck. Ash Hanley.
Yeah.
Oof.
Me?
Just check.
Abs.
Before he goes for some food, he always checks his abs.
Thinks he can sing, thinks he can dance, calls himself the Tongan Justin Bieber. Yeah.
Mickey Fish! I'll give it away.
Michaletsky. I'll do a little impression. Little man syndrome.
Brad Dwyer, isn't it? Genius.
Great new feature there with the Leeds Rhinos, guys. Right now, I'm off down to the Emerald Headingley. I've had a phone call. They've got a challenge for me at half-time. I am taking on the Biff Bros. Whoa, come on. Yeah, the boys, come on, the Biff Bros. Woo! 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 Hey, how you doing, Ledge? Things to get me doing that. Good to see you, Ledge. Oh, Ledge. Always get spicier. Always get spicier. Simo! Let's go, Biff Bros! I'm coming for you! Game day is back for 2020.
Jonesy, let's start with paying homage to the guys that did the walk marching for.
Oh, what an effort!
What an unbelievable
it's a long way to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're just being told that they've got some pretty bad ailments and injuries on their feet now. Not much preparation, just walked 60 odd miles for crack, but it's for a great cause, obviously, to raise money, and it's great to follow them as well.
It's great to see as well Sky sending Rob over to the Super Bowl. What did you watch it? You a fan? I watched the game. I stayed up watching the game.
I tried after the game, but I think I saw the coin toss and.
Right, let me tell you, I've roomed with Gaz a few times, right? And he gets in bed, and he's really well prepared. Like everything's really nice and neat, very well sitting. And then he tucks himself like a stereotypical old man. Tucks himself up like that, right? Got a little drink. And he gets his iPad, puts film on, and goes. Kid, we once went to the cinema in Loughborough, England. Before starting credits had finished going up, and then wakes up at the end, don't you? You don't 3 weeks to see a film.
Many times, and sometimes, like you say, I'm at the cinema, and I'll be dropping, and I'll just think, and I'll just give in the end. Just wake me up when it's finished.
Jonesy, a big weekend of action in Super League, but also in the Championship. And Sunday night rugby league kicks off this week, 6:15. Featherstone versus Halifax. It's a big game, and to tell us all about it, let's go to Studio 2 and meet Andrew Henderson.
Our final game of round 2 in the Betfred Championship will feature this man here and his Featherstone Rovers team against Halifax. I'm excited to say that this game will be played on Sunday night, 6:15, and will be live and exclusive on the Our League app. Talk me through this one. How excited are you and the club to be hosting Halifax this weekend?
Yeah, it's always a great game against Halifax. You know, they've had a rivalry going on pretty much like 10 years now, and I've enjoyed many a game against Halifax in a Featherstone shirt. Been on the right end of some results and been on the wrong end of some results. But
honours even, I say at the moment.
Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah.
It is a great rivalry, and this weekend will be the same. It'll be a tough, very evenly contested game. One that I'm sure both teams are obviously going to win, and it should be a great spectacle for the fans.
Don't miss out on this action, folks. It is, as I said, live and exclusive on the Our League app. 6:15 p.m. kick-off time there on Sunday night, the 9th of February. Tune in for that one.
Sunday night, I'll be there. Featherstone versus Halifax. Guys, can I ask you, lastly but not least, just to sign the table? Thank you. Have you enjoyed it tonight, Rugby?
Really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been great.
Mate, good luck this week in the Hull derby. Next week on Rugby AM, back in the studio right here, Free Sports. Have a great weekend. Good night. God bless.
We are working with the Rugby League All-Stars to help support and raise awareness for some of the heroes who play our game. To be a part of it, visit rugbyam.co.uk/all-star events.